Hi everyone, today's super exciting. I'm going to do a review of my brand new Peloton tread. With this tread, it says you have 59 inches of running space. So the way it breaks down is the track here is 68 inches long and it is 33 inches wide. And then the height for all of it is 62 inches high. So it gives a fair amount of room. So let's get on and see what that's like. So as you can see, I have a fair amount of room around me. One piece I really like about this tread is when you look down here, you'll notice there's no plastic piece at the front of the treadmill. So that's something I noticed in years past when I used to run on treadmills in the gym, is there'd be that plastic piece, and I personally like running up near the front of the treadmill. So what would happen is sometimes I would catch it with my foot and hit this plastic piece. So on this one, that's something that's not there and not in the way at all. Other than the plastic piece, there's a couple of big differences between this tread and a typical treadmill. So the first part I'll go over is our touchscreen here. So it's an HD touchscreen. So what I'm going to do is turn that on and I'm going to pick my profile. And what shows up here is I can pick the different classes that are available and I can go through the different menus. So I could look through different daily picks that I could potentially pick for a workout. The one difference is on most treadmills, you can control your speed and incline on a monitor up here, and that's where you see all your stats. The difference with this treadmill is they have these knobs on the side. So this one on my right side controls my speed. So I roll it forward to go faster, roll it back to go slower. And on the other side, I have the incline knob. So I roll it forward to increase the incline or roll it backwards to decrease the incline. So that's a little bit different from a typical treadmill. The other pieces I have here is I have a stop button. So if I get into some kind of situation where I need to stop the tread right away, I just press that. And there's also this safety clip that I can clip to myself when I'm running. So if I fall back off the tread, it will stop the tread for me. And then you can see I have a couple of cup holders here that I can put my water in when I'm working out. And as for the tread itself, it can go up to 12.5 miles an hour. And for incline, it can go up to 12.5% incline. To give you a really good overview of how it works, I'm going to do a class now and I'll take you through that and let you see how it goes and what that's like. I'm going to pick a class for today. I'm going to do a shorter class just because for the sake of this, a shorter class might be better. So thinking a 20-minute one. So here's what we could potentially do, but what I do before I pick a class is music choice is really important to me. So what I do is I pull up the menu and I scroll up a bit and you can see it's who it features music by. So I can actually view the playlist for the class before I get into it. So as you can see, that's the playlist for the class. It seems like an okay playlist for me. So I'm not going to pick that one. So what I'm going to do to continue on is I'm going to choose classes. And from there, I'm going to choose the length I want. So I like a 20-minute class. And then it brings up a list of all the different classes that are available. So I'll just go through and find one I like. So this one here is a 20-minute house run. I really like running to house music, so that's the one I'll choose. So now that I've picked that class, what I'll do is I'm going to hit start. And then this screen comes up and I can connect to my heart rate monitor if I want, or I can connect to my Bluetooth audio. I'm not going to do either. I'm just going to let the sound come out of this touch screen. So I'm going to press start.
Peloton, my name is Rebecca Kennedy, and you're rocking with me today for a 20-minute house run. If you're a house head baby,
and
you are going
here
to
is one of my favorite features.
Your jaw when you hear this.
The skip intro button. So what I can do is just hit skip intro and get right into the class.
Okay.
So one piece I really like about the tread is this data that's showing right here. So it shows me the incline I'm on, my total output, my pace, and my speed. And the pace is in minutes per kilometer, which I really like because when I run outside, that's the setting I use on my Garmin. So that's a pace that makes a lot of sense to me. But I like that it also shows me my speed in miles per hour as well as minutes per kilometer. And another thing here, so you can see they're increasing the speed. So one thing that comes up is this little touch menu, and I can just touch to what the next speed is on there. And then it bumps me right up to 6 miles per hour. Another piece I like as well, so each of these knobs, if you press it, they'll move you up a full point for either incline or speed. So I'm just going to drop myself back down to 5. And then say I want to run at 6. All I have to do is hit the button, and it takes me right up to 6 miles per hour. So it gives me a couple of different options for ways to adjust my speed in a quick and easy manner. So then this is the other shortcut we have, is on the screen. So you can see I can just pick a speed, and it'll bump me up right up to that speed. And you can see incline works the same way. So I can just bump myself back up to a 4, and the tread adjusts itself. So pretty quick and easy to do that as well. Another thing with this tread is, in addition to this beautiful touch screen, it has great audio. So we can turn this right up.
Speed goes up, 22, 8, 3, 2, go.
So one other piece I like is this here, the leaderboard. So what you can see is you can see what my output is in this class versus what my output was in previous classes of the same length. So you can see I'm a little bit behind this time, but it makes sense because this class has a fair amount of walking in it, but it's a good way to gauge progress overall. And the reason you can see I'm behind is so that's my 20-minute record, and when I hit that record pace, at this point in the class, I was at 133 for output, and right here, this box is my output for the current class, and you can see I'm at 99 now. So there's a difference between the two. And where that output number comes from is they combine the incline you're working at and your pace, and then those two combined numbers give you your output. So this here, there's also a leaderboard. So you can see there's 1,807 people who did this class. Right now, out of everybody who did that class, you can see I'm in 887th place overall. So that's a good way to keep a bit of motivation up in the class, is you can try to pass people throughout, and I find that's a good tool for pushing hard. Another feature on the tread, so I can press this button here, and it tells me what song is currently playing, and if I really like the song, I can press this heart button, and what it does is that actually links to my Apple Music account and my Spotify account, and it feeds into a list on both those accounts called Peloton playlists. So it's a good way to build a music library of music I really like in the classes. And one last feature here is this bar up here. So what this bar does is at the start of the class, it tells me how much time will be in the class. It breaks it into the warm-up section, the running section, and the cool-down section. So you can see for this one, I picked a 20-minute class. So far I've completed 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and I have 9.5 minutes left. Oh, and look at this. One of the people I high-fived me back, and that shows up in my feed. And let's say I just want to run, and I don't want to think about any of these things on the screen. I can hide them all. So what I can do is press this button, that one disappears. Press this button here, that disappears. Press this one here, that disappears. And press that there, and that disappears. And then I have a simplified view that just tells me my pace, my speed, and my incline. So it looks nice and clean. Nothing too crazy there. Oh, and if I want to bring everything back, I can just tap my screen twice and boom, everything's back on the screen with the tap of a finger. And tap it again. And they disappear.
A little pickup there. How do it feel?
Another piece I like
We're gonna build.
is there's 3 different options for the audio. I can choose to hear more instructor, the original mix, or more music. I personally usually choose the more music mix. So that provides an overview of the Peloton tread. Overall, I really like it. I've ran on many different treadmills over the years, and one thing I found that I'd really noticed is what the track and the tread feels like. Because what I found is some are almost like springy, or some were really hard and didn't feel great running on them. With this one, they found like the perfect balance, or at least in my opinion, of what a track should feel like. It doesn't have too much give or too little give. It just feels really good to run on. Like, it's a really good design. Yes, I really like the tread. I really like the classes. I find the instructors are really good at keeping you engaged. The class I took you through was a little bit easier than a couple of the other classes I'd done because it had the walk breaks in between. Some of the other ones I've done had consistent running throughout, but I find it's a really good mix of running at a jogging pace and moving up to more so of a speed pace. And that's really good for just building longer endurance and becoming a stronger runner overall. So I'm really happy with my purchase of a Peloton tread. I've wanted a treadmill from the time I was in my early 20s, so it's super exciting for me to finally have one. And the fact I was able to find one with a fairly reasonable price point for what I was able to get for the price point. It's a game changer with what they've done with the classes. It makes it really interactive, where I can high-five people throughout. I can see my previous scores and chase those down. And it's really good from an engagement perspective, and it really gamifies the running experience, which if you're a less experienced runner or find going out for a run more challenging, it's a really good tool to make that a bit easier for you. Personally, I've always been a runner, and it's something I really enjoy. So for me, it's a platform that lets me continue on and have a place to run in my house. But if you're someone who is more of a beginner runner who is looking for that motivation to get there, it's a really good tool for getting you out and getting you going. So I finished up another run, and what I can do is go into their tool, click on my profile, and what you can see is my overall workout history. So you can see I've done 6 running classes to date. And then I can pick a day and we'll see the class I did and my output for that class. So I will look at this one. And as you can see, it gives me, as you can see, the metrics show your total output, your distance, your elevation gain, calories burnt, average output, average pace, average incline, and average speed. And that's what really impresses me too. When I've ran on treadmills in the past, I would just have my metrics for that specific run, and I would just know how far I went and how long I ran for. What I really like about this is it gives me my average pace per run as well. So that's a good gauge to tell if I'm improving my average pace over time. And just the whole platform makes it so easy to go in and look at all my previous metrics and pull those up. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the Peloton tread review. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to respond.